Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Amado, and I'm part of the Positive Impact movement. And I'm here with Jeannette Meier and Francesco Carvelli, who are also parts of the Positive Impact movement. And today we would like to explore a little bit the idea of co-creation in an interesting way.
I'm working on my program, on the program for my work, and yesterday I was working on competition and redefining competition from the point of view of self-compassion and self-kindness. So that's absolutely amazing because it's a beautiful discovery. This is something that I did with Marseille for the program for PiMOV about self-compassion, and I dig deep because that's what I do. I'm a fact finder. I like to search. And then I went into this whole understanding of the difference between certain things that we take for granted, like self-criticism, where it comes from, self-judgment, and our self-esteem that we think it's important and is based on a concept of competition that is completely wrong and is determined by others instead of starting from within. Yeah, so it's all about, so it's all being in line with what we always talk about. So
Yes.
inside out, right? But what does it mean on the level of a career,
Mm-hmm.
expectation, ambition? There are good parts and bad parts, right? Like, so competition can be good if it's done together, like strive together is a beautiful concept. Most of the time, though, this competition is about us, me, what I wish I was, what I wish I had, what I wish I do. But what I do, what I have, what I am is way much more important than what I wish I was, right? But we don't focus on that. And the self-compassion, kindness, it really help you to go back into that process of re-understanding and realigning yourself to your own truth, which means also like I am. It's not really about being in line with other people, with what other people telling me to be, to start to focus on what is really important for me. What is it? The impact that I want to make, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Refocus your project on things that really matter for you,
Yes.
and not for an external kind of viewers. Of
Yes.
viewer. For example, when a friend is has a problem and comes to us, we talk to this friend in a very compassionate way. So, but if we are in that situation, same problem, how do we talk to ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk that way.
Mm-mm.
We
No.
talk in a very judgmental way. So learning how to change the conversation that we have with ourselves, it actually makes us free, and we become a better version of ourselves, which is absolutely amazing.
Yes. Yes. Because we are valuing ourselves.
Yeah.
No, through being self-compassionate, we are valuing who we are in the moment with what happens with us. And so really yes, everything turns then from the inside out, no, in the understanding, and not looking outside to do what is asked me outside. No, it doesn't. I don't mind anymore because I'm being self-compassionate. I'm looking inside and feeling and valuing, and that's where it has to come from.
Yeah.
Like allowing yourself to be vulnerable becomes actually it becomes like a good way of actually establish what you really want, because sometimes we don't know. It's so strange, but when we talk to our own self, we are so full of ideas that are coming from outside that is very difficult to actually focus on what we really want.
Yes.
And we focus on things that we don't have because we start to compare to a model that has been pushed by cultural, from a cultural and, surface.
Yes, yes.
And we don't belong to that. We really belong to our own self. So discover our own self is a beautiful way to become the best way of us.
Yes, yes. To what we came, the best of our being.
Yeah, the best of our being, yeah.
And I guess one of the difficulties when you were talking about the competition, what's it called, that module that you were working on yesterday?
Redefine competition. Yeah.
Redefine competition, because to me that means that you have to know that competition. You have to find out what that competition is, how that competition works, who they are. The difficulty, I think, here is, okay, I've learned about them. That doesn't mean that's not me. That's them. What am I? What can I bring? What can I do that's truly myself? But I think what's really difficult is, like, once you've known that competition, to stop that process of because we almost do it immediately. We compare ourselves to that, and we start saying, oh, but they have that and I don't have that. They behave like that and I can't behave like that. So it's how to analyze that without comparing yourself to that, or without being negative about yourself and about what you do. But and I find that really, really difficult. It's almost like an immediate process. You see something that you really like or whatever, and immediately you're like, I want to be like that person, or I want to be able to, like what we were saying before, I like to present like TV presenters and have that sort of look of professionalism. Yes, I find that really difficult, because it's almost like we're wired to react like that to competition, and it's about unwiring, so undoing the work that's been done for years and years. And changing that and being kind to ourselves. That's how I understand it. But it's difficult. I think it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's a part of, first of all, is the awareness side. The awareness is very important. So the first thing is about be aware that it's a human condition. So everybody's on the same boat. Everybody's feeling the same things. Like we grow up with this kind of cultural pressures that determine the fact that we are comparing ourselves to others. But that's also like for our own good. There is no competition by itself. It doesn't have like only negative aspects. There are also positive aspects, because we want to better ourselves. But instead of understanding that from the point of view of what we don't have, we should rephrase that in the meaning that we can achieve better if we just follow certain things that we like about other people. Like inspirations are very good. Like we are looking like we are reading a lot of books that have been written by people that they were amazing. And there are a lot of books that are not that good either, but we cannot compare. I cannot compare with Einstein. I mean, I wish with Leonardo. Oh my God, that will be amazing. Right? Can I? No, of course not. I mean, there is a way that we can still have the inspiration. And that's a very important thing, because nothing comes from nothing. It's all about a build up, right? So we can take it from everyone, the good thing. But when it is about, there is a limit in when this becomes a negative, destructive behavior that's the problem, when we become to focus too much on what we don't have. Because then it means like it creates a paralysis. We don't do. Instead of focusing on what we want to achieve, then we focus on what we didn't get. And then our life becomes like remorseful and regrets and all these stupid things, and we don't do anything.
And you aren't either, because you're looking outside and you're doing based on the outside. And what I wanted that you mentioned, Francesco, to say is regarding competition and inspiration. Because for me, competition doesn't exist at all. Not at all. If I see someone that I might say, oh, I would love to have his strength or her capabilities or whatever, but it's inspiration. So from this inspiration, I go inside to me and get strength to look in me what I can, who I am, what I have, that I can create something. No, but not comparing myself to this person because I'm not this person. And but knowing this person inspires me a lot to be more creative from what I have, from what I am, and to what I am creating, that it's totally different to the other person, because whatever we create, it's always unique. So it's more inspiration that drives the self-compassion, or the looking inward and looking at the resources, our inner resources, to create what we want to create, no? Without comparing. If we compare, we're creating already something that it's not us and it's not ours, because we're creating what the other one has, and it's from the other person, it's not yours, because it's, your creation is unique.
And I think that's the only way to co-create, by letting the other inspire you, rather than creating you these feelings of envy or negativity that we were saying before. No? The only way to co-create is if we see in the other that person who's unique with their unique ideas, and then we try to do something together and get something from that person in a that's going to impact you positively, and the other way around. It's like this reciprocation, and to me that's the only way to co-create. I don't think if you're looking at the competition as kind of that thing that you want to aspire to be, but that you cannot be, and creates this conflict within yourself, there's no way you can co-create. There's no way you can evolve. There's no way you can therefore be yourself, because you're so focused on the other. And and in this, you're so in these feelings of negativity. So for me, it's like, well, there's a paradox, and there's that sort of double thing when you look at other people who are doing similar things to you. There's almost like two different ways of being very simple. There's two different ways of reacting. You can be envious and stay in the envy, or you can be inspired by them, and then things happen when you get that inspiration. That's the way. I guess that's the basis. That's the way I see the basis of co-creation.
For me, it's co-creation comes from the heart always, and it's if you are co-creating with someone, it's giving of yourself without giving of yourself. It's because it's giving everything you are to empower whatever you're co-creating together, receiving, and in the giving, without giving anything from you, your uniqueness stays. You don't have to hand over anything to co-create, because there's in the market, and whenever you say, well, in collaboration, for instance, whenever you say, are you going to collaborate, or are you going to collaborate with me, people say yes, but what do I have to give you? No. For instance, co-creation, PiMOV, no, it's your uniqueness, your being, and what you do in the way you do it, that is essential for the co-creation. If you change anything, then it's not, you're not you anymore, and the power of your co-creation is not the same to co-create this together. It's this preservation of this without giving anything, being there with heart and soul, but not having to sell or gift anything for you to be less than what you already are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it helps this concept of be in integrity with your own project.
Yeah.
Right, which is something that I discovered through the community. Like once it was difficult for me to understand this concept before. It took me a few months last year to I was really focused on what does it mean integrity for me, because I thought like, okay, this is coming from outside. People say like, oh, you're such integrity. Like, wow, what does it mean? Like I should feel this. I don't feel it. I might feel authenticity, but integrity is a concept a little bit more difficult. So being in integrity with your project means like you have a direction that is your own direction. And if you are true to this direction, that is your project, then everything else, it's really collaborating to that. It's not a competitor. It cannot be a competitor. That when this happens, like the feeling of competition, the feeling that things are not completely right in a relationship of work, it means that probably the values that are at the core of it are not completely aligned, because one or maybe because I probably didn't go into that kind of direction that is my own project or the other person, right? So when we are true to our to our star,
Yes,
everything happens like in organically in a way that we enhance each other in a collaboration.
yes,
Because we actually give ourselves the true self out there, and it happens organically, it happens like beautifully. And when you do that, it's very clear, and you go and you proceed together in a collaboration. But when your values are a little bit not completely aligned, because you are not in integrity with your own project, and you start to do something for some different reasons, then when the problem happens, like hidden agendas or other kind of things, or money, or expectations, or having like to adapt to certain things, this can create a problem. But if you are true to your direction, eventually everything goes back on track, and everything goes well.
Yes, and I would add something because of experience. It's not only true to your direction, it's also valuing yourself. Because you might be in truth and integrity with your project, but you don't value yourself, and then you think the other person, by coming together with the other person, it will give value to what you are creating. And it's never like that, because then you're already handing over something of you to the other person as a responsibility of them for something that it's to be co-created or for your project. So it's really valuing yourself and integrity to who you are and integrity to your project that you co-create, because then you maintain this uniqueness in you, your creation, you respect the uniqueness and value the uniqueness of the other person, that it stays in them. So that if it comes together, there are two uniqueness coming together that creates a third uniqueness, that it's so unique because it's the sum. But it's important to know that what you are creating and what you are has a value for you to be responsible for it, no? And an integrity to it, so that it doesn't change because of coming together with someone else.